Hi, welcome to our next Level 2 probability video. This is the first of two videos discussing relative risk. In statistics, risk is another word for probability. The correct term we should be saying is absolute risk. So the words probability, percentage, proportion, and risk all represent the same thing. However, the word risk is mostly associated or used with harm or injury. E.g., we might say, what's the risk of dying from lung cancer? Instead of what is the probability of dying from lung cancer. Now, relative risk is used to compare the risk within two groups of a given population. For example, we could find the relative risk of people getting lung cancer from smokers compared with people getting lung cancer from non-smokers. Right, here's a formula we're going to talk about in this video. The relative risk is equal to P, which is the probability of an event happening for what we call a treatment group, divided by P, which is the probability of an event happening for what we're going to call a control group. If the relative risk comes out to be 1, there is no difference in risk between the two groups. However, if the relative risk comes out to be less than 1, we say there is less risk in the treatment group than the control group. And if the relative risk is greater than 1, we say there's a greater risk in the treatment group compared to the control group. Now, it might be worth stopping the video and writing all that down and letting it sink in before you move on to the problems. Right, the treatment group. The treatment group is a group given some type of treatment or intervention. You've got to understand that doesn't always mean it's a positive thing. A treatment's not always a good thing for the group. Control group, a group not given some type of treatment or intervention. All right, here is our first example we're going to look in this video, and in the next video we'll look at example number 2. So this table is about smokers and non-smokers and whether people got lung cancer or no lung cancer during their life. We've got 200 patients altogether. So here's part A. What's the absolute risk, the probability a person who smokes getting lung cancer? So we're only interested in those who smoke, and the probability of getting lung cancer is 30 chances out of 100. Right, part B, what's the absolute risk, the probability a person who does not smoke getting lung cancer? So these are our non-smokers, and the chance of them getting lung cancer was 10 chances out of 100. Right, now let's look at part C and slow down and read it carefully. What is the relative risk a person who smokes getting lung cancer compared to a person that does not smoke getting lung cancer? Well, here's our relative risk formula. P of events for a treatment group and P for the event of a control group. Now, the treatment group are going to be those who smoke. As I said before, don't think that the treatment is always a positive thing. Smoking is a type of treatment. It's not good for you, but it's a type of treatment. And those who don't smoke is what we call the control group, where nothing happens to them. So we're going to work out the probability of the treatment group and divide it by the probability of the control group. So we're going to go 30 out of 100, divide by 10 out of 100, and we're going to get a relative risk of 3. Now, what does that mean? Remember this information. If the relative risk is greater than 1, there is a greater risk in the treatment group relative to the control group. So because we do have a relative risk greater than 1, this is what we're going to say. Based on the statistics from our given population of 200 patients, the relative risk of getting lung cancer if you smoke is 3 times more likely than those that do not smoke. In other words, you're 3 times more likely to get lung cancer if you smoke than if you don't smoke. A lot of studies have done this kind of research, relative risk, in all sorts of different areas to try and prove all sorts of things that go on in this world. Great. Thanks for watching.